course. I know obviously a lot of one of the big, obviously a big talking point also is about mental health also. I mean, how have you been coping with everything as well? You and the people that you work with as well. I mean, how have you been coping with the whole thing?
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting, isn't it? Because, musicians, we're used to working with a lot of people, aren't we? We used to
Hmm.
be around fellow musicians, making music with people. And it's, having that kind of, home-based life, being based on a computer. And I suppose you just, for your own sanity, really, you've got to keep connected, haven't you, with your
Of
friends?
course.
You've got to have those telephone calls. And, I've made a point, really, of just keeping connected with my colleagues, new colleagues, as well as, colleagues in the past job, having those phone calls, having those Zooms, because I think all of us are just reaching out, aren't we, just to keep connected with everyone and just make sure, check in and see how they're doing. Do they need anything? And do what we can. I mean, it's a challenge, isn't it?
It really is a challenge. I mean, and just hoping you're okay at the moment. Like you said, just give like a little phone call to someone is always really helpful to anyone. Really, isn't it? Like a little message to someone just really helps.
Yeah. And I think
Yeah.
actually that's the great thing about the arts, isn't it? And music particularly, like, making arts and making music and playing with others is that it's actually so good for your well-being. And I
Hmm.
know obviously it's a profession, isn't it? But we know the impact. We all see that when we work with young people, the impact it has when they make music together. And I think that's the thing we're all missing at the moment, because we know it has such a huge impact on young people, but we can't do it. We can't do choirs in the ways we want to do. We can't do orchestras. We can't do bands. And I suppose we're all just desperately, waiting for the time to get back to it. And I just huge admiration for everyone who's been making it work in the
Mm.
middle of a pandemic, following those rules, 2 meter distances, masks on, masks off, whatever. I mean, it's amazing what they've done, and seeing all the concerts schools were doing at Christmas,
Mm.
on recorded things and clever tech, all the technological things people do and recording little videos. I mean, it's a marvelous thing, but no one wants to abandon it. It doesn't matter, how perilous this virus has been, that no one is going to give up on music. So seeing the
Mm.
hashtag can do music on,
Yeah, yeah.
if anyone wants to kind of just feel really inspired, just look at the hashtag can do music, and you
Yeah,
just see the work that schools are doing to keep music alive, because we all believe in it.
of course. That's why I've always been an avid mentor and person for music in schools, definitely, because when I hear about schools, especially state schools, who lose music or the arts in general, that absolutely breaks my heart. But it's like you said, with the can do hashtag, where you see the amazing work the schools are actually doing with the arts and music. It just brings a huge smile to my face and then to anyone's face, doesn't it, really?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
great. And parents know. I think parents must have been thrilled seeing lots of the performances and recordings, and theatre as well. Not just music, but just seeing young people making and creating. It's just I think parents know how important this is, and they know how important it is to be in the curriculum and to be part of your school life. And I feel for school leaders, because now being in that position, in my my current role, where I'm in that leadership role and seeing that whole school perspective, you see the challenge of it. You see that it's really hard to do these things when you've got these restrictions, you've got these really, really important health concerns. We've got to control this virus, we've got to take all these various hygiene measures, and the science or research or the DFE is saying don't do this, you can't do that, and you're desperately trying to make your curriculum work, your school life work. But the arts are a challenge, because they
Mm.
just, the way we work, they're risky. And so I'm really grateful, Music Teachers Association, ISM, Music Mark have worked tirelessly to make sure that the restrictions are really clear in that how we can make music, that there's no reason why you can't. And the DFE have said that as well, Ofsted has said that. And I think they'll recognise that music, particularly of all the arts, has suffered the most
For
because of
sure.
the restrictions. And so they've all been really encouraging, saying, you can make music. You don't have to not make music. So all those school leaders out there thinking we can't do music, it's against the rules. It isn't. You just obviously have to work within the restrictions and work within the guidance, but you can do it. So keep making music, people.